In this video, I'll show you the two biggest mistakes people make when invoicing in Xero Practice Manager. This way, you can avoid making those mistakes yourself. Those two mistakes are firstly, zeroing out tasks when invoicing and not understanding the impact this has on your write-offs. The other mistake is adding additional time or additional disbursement entries on your invoices and the impact that this has on your write-ups and your write-offs. So let's jump in and we'll check them out together. So here we are in our job 1389 for Action Enterprises Limited, and if we go to the Financial tab, you'll see that we've got $5,400 of estimated billings with no invoices, and we can confirm that by going to our WIP ledger. You can see all of that time there and there's no invoicing on it. So let's look at this first mistake. So the first mistake is going new progress invoice, actual time and cost, and then hit next. So here is the invoice. So you can see it's $5,400, but we know we want to invoice $6,000, so we're going to go fixed price, which gives us these boxes, and we go, oh, we'll just zero this out. We'll zero this out, and we'll put the full 6,000 in here. Great, and then we'll go and hit approve. So if we go to our WIP ledger now and hit refresh, what you'll see here is we've actually written off all of the annual accounts review and the annual accounts finalization. We've got huge write-ups now on our annual accounts preparation. And what's really bad here, there was actually a write-up on the job. We got a $600 write-up, but we wrote off $600 of Ruben's time. So when we're doing this, we can't get any accurate reporting on how efficient we are with our tasks. And we also can't get any accurate reporting on what our revenue or our write-offs are at a staff member level, because by this one act here, we've made this information completely inaccurate. Ruben Sweeney has been given a $600 write-off when actually the job had a $600 write-up. So straight away, this one action has ruined all of our reporting. So when we're invoicing, it's really important to consider how we're recognizing those invoice amounts against those line items. So let's go back and we'll look at the next option. Cool, so I'm just going to delete this invoice. So first we're going to cancel it to remove it out of Xero. And then we'll delete it. Right, so if I look at my WIP ledger now, hit refresh, it's all back to no invoicing, and hit refresh here, you'll see my invoices now disappeared. Perfect, so we're back to where we were. So the second error that people make, if I go new progress invoice, then I'm going to select actual time and cost, and then hit next. And then what they'll see is this, and they go, oh, well, that's a little bit confusing. I just want to show, I'll go annual accounts, just like that. And then go, right, well, that was 30 hours, hit save. It gives me my 6,000 that I want, so I'll uncheck these. And then just have that annual accounts task there. And you can do this with calculated or fixed price. The point is we've unselected these tasks and we've created a new task. So the error we've made is we've created a new task, or sometimes we use a cost, we create a cost on the job to be the total amount. So when we approve this, then we check out our WIP ledger. What we've got here is we have created an annual accounts entry here. For $6,000 the invoice, and the total write-up has gone to this. So basically our write-up has disappeared. So all of this is showing as uninvoiced, and the total amount of revenue is showing against this task here, which doesn't actually exist. That's another really big mistake, because if we go back to our job now and hit refresh, we're still showing $5,400 of billable WIP on this job. So now work in progress is incorrect, even though we've sent the invoice. And just while we're here, I've got one other way that people mess this up. Just going to delete this one. I'll show you one other option. Then refresh this and just check our WIP ledger, make sure it's all gone back to normal. Great, so that additional time entry's disappeared. So we're back to where we were. The other option is they go new progress invoice, very, very similar to this last one, actual time and cost. We'll add the new task. And then we'll go fixed price. and then we'll zero all of these out. We'll put the full 6,000 in here. So this is very similar to the last example, but this time we're actually going to write the work in progress off. So $6,000. So what we want to do is we really want to avoid, at all costs, we don't ever want to add an additional time or additional disbursement entry. Just like that. Let's go check out our WIP ledger. As you see here, we've got annual accounts, invoice 6,000, the full write-up amount is sitting against that additional time entry, and then we've written off all of our time. So at least our WIP is correct under this situation, but we've written off all of those entries here, which means that all of our staff are going to show that time written off. So those are the big mistakes when invoicing in Xero Practice Manager. It's really important to consider when you're doing an actual time and cost invoice to consider where that revenue is being recognized, as this is going to determine our write-ups and our write-offs. It's also important we never put a task or a cost directly in an invoice. They should always be pulled from a job. That way the revenue is going to be recognized against people's time or the disbursement on the job, rather than having the write-up apportioned straight back to that cost or that task there. So I hope that was useful. Really take this on board. Don't make these mistakes, and I'll see you in the next video.